Hey, welcome back. So I had on makeup because I was working, but I just took it all off. And I'm going to just play around and do an eyeshadow look with this 'Tis the Season palette from Cosmic Beauty. It is an eye and face palette, and there are some pressed pigments in here. I will do some swatches and stuff and talk about the palette in probably the next video. I just don't have time at the moment, so I just figured do a look, right? Because it's the season. 'Tis the season. All right, so since I took all of that off, I'm just gonna go ahead in with my Pharmacy Honey Halo. Yeah, Honey Halo Ultra Moisturizer. Slap that all over my face. Alright, and then my lips are dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and use my Vaseline. Anyway, so I was reading the news, y'all, and it really reminded me of something that I have been through, kind of, sorta. I'm gonna go in with the Urban Decay All Nighter Glow Primer. This and the regular one had been like my favorites forever. And I had I noticed that I hadn't finished them up, and so here we are. I have recently finished up a NARS Soft Matte Foundation, the YSL All Hours Foundation. I know I finished up some concealers as well. So I tend to use my stuff, y'all. And also, when I get to the end of a foundation or concealer, I will take a tweezers or a pliers and I'll pop the stopper out, girl, and I will scrape out the rest of it, okay? Anybody else like to use all their stuff? Because don't play with me. If I paid for this, I'm going to use every single drop. Okay, so what was I talking about? I'm going to also go in with my paint base from Colored Rain, and Colored Rain went out of business. Boo to that. Oh, didn't I say I was going to tell you a story? Yeah, so I was reading the news. And I saw something that is from Uttar Pradesh in India. And this man was on the toilet. We don't see that part. But he was using the restroom. And there's like a tile. It's like a square tile. It's like the wall is made up of big square tiles. Well, somebody visited him because one of them was missing. It seemed like it was broken. And you know who came on through that? A tiger. Girl, I was like, if he wasn't already, shooting bricks, he is now, okay? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? You are sitting there minding the business that minds you, and you look to the side and it's a tiger. Girl. Now, I know that we all like to play like we know what we would do. Like that we would fight, or that we would flee, or that we would freeze, hopefully not. But let me tell you something. Biologically, we don't really get to decide. Ow. In that moment, your brain and your body turn to your most basic instincts, like your lizard brain that is only fooling with survival. And so if the survival that it comes up with is you gonna go ahead and freeze, that's what's gonna happen. So you're not really gonna know what you're gonna do until it happens. Hopefully it never does. Because I imagine that if a tiger were to come in my restroom, I would do neither because I would have already had a heart attack. So there is video, okay? I guess he must have got up off the toilet and he went and got his phone, or he's like one of the people that takes it in the bathroom. If you do that, please make sure that you disinfect your phone and stuff. And he has video. And let me tell you something. The tiger is just like looking through. You know how your cats just be like looking. Like, I wonder what's going on. And then had the nerve to just go. Like, just like cleaning him or herself. And then had the nerve to then rub his or her head against the frame. I was like, this large cat is acting like a domesticated cat. Where did I just put that brush? Oh. I don't know how, when the tiger left, if it left. I'm assuming it couldn't crawl through, but I don't know, because, you know, cats be fitting themselves through stuff. So I don't know if that's also true for the large cats. You know what I mean? Like, was it going to squeeze itself into the bathroom? Like, we have to move now. Like, could you imagine? Yeah, it was very cute. It was very, like, you know, kind of awesome. But let me tell you how I could relate to it. Some of y'all might have heard this story, maybe not. But I've had 2 instances where animals have come in the bathroom while I was doing my business. I will tell you, okay? I kid you not, y'all. It has happened twice, okay? Twice. So somebody up there be playing with me. Okay, so the first time was when I was home. And I call home my parents' house in LA, the house. That's just what we call it, the house. So I was at the house, and I guess, you know, I'm the youngest. So everybody was out living their best lives, like in their own places and stuff. And I was still at home because I think I was probably in high school. Yeah. And at that point, too, I want to give you, like, the context of everything. I think at that point I was a cheerleader. So, you know, I had, like, skills and stuff. I was in good shape. All that greatness, right? I think. It could have been when I was younger, but I was around the teen something because I was home by myself, right? I don't know where my parents went. They were off somewhere. So I'm home by myself, just watching TV, all the lights in the house on. I already did my homework. And I go to the restroom, just like this man over in India. I went to the restroom. Where's the palette? Okay, here's the palette. And I'm going to use this shade here called Cranberries. Side note, you know cranberries that we eat during, like, I guess the holiday season? I think a lot of people don't like the ones that come in the can that you have to, like, slice. Do you like those? I kind of like them. I'm okay with them. I don't, like, hate them. But I spent Thanksgiving / National Day of Mourning, hopefully you know about that, with Tracy and her family. And Tracy made, like, from scratch, like, homemade cranberry sauce. And I was like, we're super fancy. Anyway, that was just talk. So I'm taking this Refer number 2 brush. And if you want to see someone talk about Refer brushes and basically be like the cheerleader of Refer, go to Jan Van's channel. My good girlfriend, Jan Van. Okay, so I'm in the bathroom, you know, just relaxing, just minding my business, doing my business. And all of a sudden, a mouse comes in. Now, I'm not one of these people that's used to living in places like farms and stuff, or out in the woods where you see rodents and critters all the time. I'm not okay with it. Never will I be. But how it had got in the house, I think, was that next door, they were like fumigating. Like when they do the big tent, they tent the, you know, they put like a circus tent over and then just be fumigating places. And I remember thinking, something gonna get over here. Because we too close, okay? It's in California, South Central, the like houses and stuff not that far from each other. What? Yeah, like, you know when it's cold and you get dry skin? Anyway, houses ain't that far from each other. So I'm like, we a hop, skip, and a jump away from the next house. So how is it that they got this big old tent and ain't nothing gonna come over here? Something gonna come up because they trying to get out. They're trying to get away. Girl, so I'm sitting in the bathroom. This mouse comes in. I don't even remember if I finished whatever it was that I was doing. I'm not quite sure. But when I tell you, I screamed. The scream I scrumped. You would have thought that I was in the movie Scream. You would have thought that I was in some kind of thriller, like I was in some kind of Halloween movie. I'm actually surprised. Well, no, I'm not. I was gonna say I was surprised that nobody called the police, but I'm like, girl, you was in South Central. Anyway, I screamed and I jumped my behind up off that toilet. And I hopped onto the toilet, like the toilet seat. That's what I'm saying. I think this is when I was a cheerleader, because I was like, who does all of that? I am not a superhero. Either that, but I played volleyball and basketball, so who knows? I had skills. So I jump on top of the toilet seat, and it's just like banging back and forth, the mouse. Then I jump on top the sink. At this point, the mouse is sitting there like, ma'am, are you okay? I'm screaming. I am running for my life in this little tiny bathroom. And so I'm like, I have to get out of here. So from the sink, I'm not kidding you. From the sink, I hop onto the tub. And I'm like, okay, the door's over there. I gotta get to the door. Again, I honestly think that the mouse was like, I'ma just wait and see what she doing. So, you guys, I tear down the shower curtain and the rod and everything. To this day, my parents' bathroom is not the same. So I tore that down, I guess because I was trying to like distract the mouse or something, and then I ran out. I don't remember what happened after that. I know my parents came home or whatever, and I know they were looking at me like, you just destroyed the bathroom. But I think I was probably in such hysterics. I don't even know if we ever talked about it again. I feel like I should call my mother and ask her, like, remember that time? I mean, at this point, I think they've like fixed it a little bit. But when I tell you I destroyed that bathroom, I don't know where the hell the mouse went. I hope somebody caught it. Yeah, I don't even know. Did I even sleep in my own bed that night? Probably not. Either I stayed up or I was in between my mother and father. So that was time 1, okay? And see, people like to act like it didn't really happen, but it happened again. So I feel like I am like, see, I told you, right? Anyway, so that's when I was out here in Maryland, and I was in an apartment, a real nice apartment. So I just finished internship, and I had been hired by the university I worked at the counseling center. And so, you know, I got me a nice little apartment. I was like, I can maybe afford something, at least with a pool, right? With piddly salary. So I'm living my best life. And I'm in the bathroom. I'm getting ready for church. I'm doing my business before I go talk to the Lord, right? So the bathroom I had, so this was a 1-bedroom little apartment. It was real cute, y'all. I kind of miss it. Anyway, so it was like a apartment community. There were like several buildings, and then there were the several apartments in the buildings, you know? Really, really nice, and like newer. And initially where I lived in a building where when you walked out and turned, you could see like this courtyard where you had the grills and this nice like what's it called, lawn area and everything. So again, I'm in the bathroom, and the way the bathroom was set up was that you can get to the bathroom from like the living room kitchen area. So that's one door. And then you could go in or out either that door, or there's another door that was leading to the main bedroom. So you can go in from either way, go out from either way. I'm sitting there. I close the doors, because even if I live by myself, I close the door when I'm using the restroom, okay? I want my privacy, even if I'm the only one there. Yeah, sitting there on the toilet, and a mouse comes in. Now, I had been wondering if something was living up in my apartment. I don't know why, I just had a sense. Girl, first of all, I was offended, because I'm like, are y'all communicating with one another or something? Because how is this happening a second time? Huh? I feel like it was the original one's cousin or something. Because how? Okay? How? So I jump up off the toilet, and of course it was a different setup than my parents' house. So there was a second exit, right? Girl, I run through the exit towards my bedroom. I slam the door. I get as many towels and blankets as I can, and I shove it like at at the bottom of the door. I'm screaming. I'm running around the apartment. I'm grabbing a couple of clothes, putting them in a bag, and I run out. I'm like, bye. So at that point, I went to a friend's house, and I called, and I was like, hey, I'm coming over. I have to stay here. I'm living with you now, FYI. And so I call the apartment, the leasing agent or manager, whatever, and I called the emergency line, because when they're like, if this is an emergency, blah, 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 or after hours or whatever. And I was like, there is a mouse, and you have to do something about it. And they were like, ma'am, this is not an emergency. And I was like, I beg your pardon. I am in the middle of having a panic attack. This is a medical emergency. So I don't remember if they did anything that night, but I was like, I'm not going back there. I'm not living there anymore. Okay? I'm not. So I need you to find me another apartment. Listen, I know this might sound dramatic, but I'm me. And no matter how much I don't want to admit it, I'm dramatic. But when I tell you I was not going back to live there, I was like, I don't understand what y'all don't understand. I don't care if you fumigate from here to eternity. I'm not going. I don't live there no more. My address is different. Okay, I'm going to go into the shade Candlelight right there. So I guess they were trying to work with me, and I was like, I'm sorry, no. You got to move me. So they ended up moving me to a totally different building. And what they did was the building I went to, it was more expensive because it was nearer to the pool, I think, or my apartment, I had a balcony that looked out into the pool. So it was like different prices for each area, kind of depending on what you had, right? But I convinced them to help me or let me pay the same rent. So it was a good couple hundred less than I was actually supposed to be paying for the newer apartment. I convinced them to have me pay the same rate that I was paying with the infested apartment. But people are always like, I can't believe that you made them move you. I'm like, why can't you believe it? Let me tell you, it was within a couple days, okay? It was within a couple days. It might have been 2 or 3. I was like, I cannot. And I was the nicest resident. I paid my rent on time. I didn't cause a ruckus. This was the only time, I think, that I really put up a stink about it. So basically what I'm saying is I could kind of understand Home Dude in India. I could kind of understand. He seemed to handle it a little differently from how I did. I'm going to go into mulled wine and hot chocolate. Like, you know, but it wasn't really, like, nobody was really taking a whole bunch of, like, pictures for social media and stuff. Like, we were, I think Snapchat was, like, just coming out. So I feel like if the gods are against me and it were to ever happen again, like, maybe I'd be like, yeah, look at this. But no, I was like, I am getting the hell out of here. This is a very old brush. This is the Sigma blending brush E25. Do y'all remember Sigma? I mean, they're still around, but I feel like people don't talk about them as much anymore. Anyway, so that's what I'm saying. I can understand Home Dude in India. I get it. I get it. I understand. But you know what? That lion, no, it's not a lion, girl. Tiger. Lions, tigers, and bears. That tiger, I'm like, it kind of looked like it kind of wasn't going to do anything. I don't know the motivations of the mice. I don't know. Why are you here? And why do they feel like it's okay to come into the bathroom? Like, that's your most vulnerable. That is your most vulnerable moment. And I don't understand why they think it's okay. You know what? I was going to go into hot chocolate, but I kind of want to go into 'Tis the Season, which is, you know, the pellet's namesake. I feel like that would be a little different. And I'm still using the same brush, and I'm going very lightly. This is pretty. Oh, I'm so glad I did that rather than the hot chocolate shade. No, I like that a lot. Oh yeah, there was the other, like, moral of the story. Beyond, I mean, you don't really know how you're going to react. I feel like now I have a sense of what I would do in various situations if I'm, like, interrupted by an animal. Apparently I flee. Fight, flight, or freeze. I pick flight. So I want to know what you think you would do, because don't sit here and tell me that you would definitely fight. Okay? I can't be the only one that would just run. Maybe that's why Forrest Gump is one of my favorite movies. Run, Forrest, run. Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far, far, far away from here. Yes, I do know the entire movie. Okay, I like this. I do want, like, a blending shade. Girl. I have other stories, but I'll wait to tell you those. But this one, because there's video. Child, when I saw that tiger. But you know what? I feel like I'm hearing more and more stories about animals. And I feel like animals are over us. I'm either going to go into cookies or ginger. Let's go with cookies. I don't know if it's the... that's fine. What was I saying? Yeah, like, animals are not here for us at all. There were the monkeys that escaped and was just running around. Was it North Carolina? South Carolina? I don't know. Remember we talked about that bear at the university. Where was it? Wisconsin? Mississippi? It was somebody. And then I think I'll go into ginger towards the front here. I feel like there's just so many stories that I'm hearing more and more, and I don't know if it's just that we have more access to information, but I feel like I'm hearing more and more stories of animals being like, I'm not here for it, and I'm about to bop you on the nose, or I'm about to come into your space, the space that was originally mine, and now you're in it. Or like, the bat, like that lady took home that bat. And then there was another story of where this teacher was trying to get a bat out of her classroom and the bat bit her. I know Jan and Erica think bats are so cute. I don't. Bat straight bitter. Like, it's already hard enough to be a teacher. Like, I really appreciate them so much. And now you got to deal with trying. I mean, it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's just too much. Everything is. I couldn't find the lipstick I was looking for, so I just went with one of my reddish shades. That's it. And I put a tiny bit of the shade, let's see, Celebrate in my inner corner. So I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shades out of 20, I believe. So far, I like the palette. I still like Cosmic Beauty's like original palettes more so than the like newer ones that they've come out with. I don't know. I just really think maybe because I was newer to trying the brand and I was just like, oh my god, these are so great. But I like this one. I don't think it's a necessity at all. Yeah, I don't think you need it. Period. I do like the shades that I've used so far. I think this is really nice. I'm thinking I could achieve this with other palettes, but I do also feel like Cosmic Beauty, their formula seems pretty consistent. Everything goes on pretty easily. The shimmers aren't chunky usually. There are some that have a bit more texture, and the mattes tend to go on very easily whether you pack them on or you kind of swirl. What's that called? Whatever, you know what I mean. Yeah, so I like it. I tend to like the looks that I do with the Cosmic Beauty palettes, but you know, at some point, how many colors can you have? I think that's it. So let me know how you think you would react to a tiger just poking its head through your bathroom, or any other story you have about people visiting you in the bathroom when you don't want them to. I hope that some of this was helpful, and I also hope that you're continuing to take care of yourself. I would love it if you liked the video, and I would love it even more if you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.